Yo, what's good, it's Violin, and today we're gonna go over some of the most gate-kept VSTs / underrated plugins that I'm not even myself using a lot, but also some industry producers that I asked, what's in your opinion the most underrated VST. So in this video I'm gonna mention how much each VST costs, and I'm gonna go over some underrated free VSTs as well. Some really insane free VSTs out there that really no one heard about. So let's start with the first one. Alright, so I can't believe that I'm exposing this, but this is Synplant, and it can generate you unlimited one-shots or unlimited drum shots, completely unique. So what you do is basically drag in like a one-shot, for example from Eternal Volume 3, drag it in, and then you can generate different sounds from it, which sounds pretty insane. It's an AI-based plugin, and what you basically can do is drag up the different tones from the one shot that it just generated. So let's just say you like the sound, you go in here, and it lets you shape the sound how you need it. Meaning you can mess with the velocity, and which is really insane, the reverb, which is actually on the sound itself, but it lets you, for example, remove the reverb of a sound right here, reverb mix. So now it sounds like this. So it takes a one shot and converts it into a playable instrument that you can totally shape and customize. And then you can go in here and drag this up. This is like the effect of each note. And it just sounds insane. And each time you press in the middle, it can generate you different tones. So than the previous one. Sounds hell insane. And that works with phrases, drums, you can go crazy with this. Let's for example drag in this arp layer and see what it does with it. So I just turned this arp layer into a playable instrument. Or let's take this 808 for example. So for example, you like this 808 right here, but you can hear the reverb. So you go in here and just remove the reverb right here. Now you got a completely new 808. Then you start adding, for example, a few distortion effects. And now you got something like this. So insane. But Synplant is $200, so you have to see it for yourself if you want to make this investment. For me, it was worth it, honestly. Alright, so we got Pure Lofi, which is a new plugin from Arturia. I know a lot of you guys know Arturia already with Analog Lab, for example. But this is a really interesting new plugin of them. You got your layers right here with some textures, the oscillator, and a real instrument, which is really interesting. So it combines synth and instruments. Then you got these different cassettes over here that each sound differently and adds a different texture. So I'm gonna just play something. For example, this preset from my Paint Analog Lab bank. Let's switch the cassettes. Really interesting sound. You can also change the oscillator right here, so let's choose this one. Damn. This one was also from the Paint bank. Sounds like this. And pure Lofi costs 150 euros, so it can be worth it if you make R&B or like smooth samples. Alright, next up we got this Master Keys VST, which is a free piano plugin. And the amazing part is that it sounds really good, even though that's free. People always think that free stuff always sound bad, but I mean, this sounds just amazing. Cool thing about it is that it's multi-velocity, so it got different tones for each velocity you're playing. So like high velocity and low velocity, which most free pianos don't have, so this is an easy pickup. Next up we got the Legend, and Hans Zimmer also even used this on his productions. And if you want to go as close as possible to hardware synths, this should be one of your pickups, because it just sounds so analog, and if you add saturation to this, it just sounds completely like a hardware synth. So before we dive into the presets, I want to explain the interface, because I've been using this recently as well. Let's first look at these oscillators right here. You have 6 oscillators you can layer. So for example, let's turn everything off. This is your one oscillator, and then you can add the second one. Here's the volume to each oscillator. You can pick, for example, the shape, layer them, add distortion to it, some more, and you got your white noise or pink noise, which makes it even more natural and analog sounding. And now something insane that not all software synth emulation plugins got is this spread, which makes each note that you press a different pan direction. So if you put it to 100, you can hear it the most. This, for example, is the right side. Let me turn off the chorus and effects. I know you're probably thinking, why does it sound that good? It's because when you play a chord, you can create this huge stereo field that's usually not most software synth emulation plugins got. So let me show you some chords. Down here you got the modulation matrix. Right here you got your envelopes. You can route to different, all parameters. Glide. I think it only works in mono, so. Yeah. And it sounds super realistic to a real hardware synth. If you make synth samples, this is a must-have. Like synth does right, Mike Dean type of sound. And the Legend synth is 180 euros. Do I think it's worth it? I mean, kinda, if you make these synth samples, as mentioned. But it just sounds so realistic to a real synth that I would personally pick it up. So next up we got Mariana, and this is a great follow-up from the Legend, because the focus on this plugin is mostly on synth basses, and these synth basses are like the best ones that I ever heard in a synth software. For example, the default preset system bass. So you got the whole aggressive side of presets, but also like these simple respaces, like this one. But let's talk about the interface. You got your 2 synths right here you can layer and put effects on. You got the controls, which means the LFOs and filter envelope. And then when you go over here, you got your whole LFOs and destinations you can put on anything. For example, this one right here. And it just sounds so realistic to a real hardware synth. For example, this LFO 1 right here, you press this, you got a destination, for example, on oscillator 1 level, And there you have it. There you can see it going crazy. For example, this preset right here sounds amazing. You also got your effects right here, delay and saturation, which also sounds super realistic to hardware. Right here you can mute synth 2 or synth 1. So for example, right now plays nothing. Synth 1 sounds like this. And then synth 2. You got a compressor and the effects for synth 2 and synth 1 separated, which is great. As far as I know, this synth is only in mono, unfortunately, so you cannot play any chords, but only leads and basses. But still, this is a great choice. It's from Moog, and I think you guys all know Moog. It's a great synthesizers company. And the Mariana bass is $100, that I think is a great choice. It's for iOS, so for your Apple, it's only $30. You can also install the demo version and see for yourself how it sounds, if you like the basses, if you like the leads. But I think it's a great choice. And if you prefer basses and leads over synths, I would personally pick this over the Legend. Also because this is a bit cheaper. But the Legend is still a great choice for synths because you can switch between poly and mono modes. Alright, so the next one is the most gatekept one out of all of them because it's not released. And it's called Fraction. It's my upcoming plugin in collaboration with Prototype Audio. And I'm here to tell you, man, you never saw something like this in a plugin. I just let straight up the plugin speak for itself, and I go over these controls while I'm playing the sounds. So as you guys heard, it's just insane, these controls. This is the XY pad right here. You got your vintage control, your smooth, color, monoglide, pitch envelope, and then this humanize, which I think you can hear it in the background. Let me just turn it up. Do you guys hear like this pressing? It was actually me recording some touch noises on my piano, Yamaha B3 back there. And I was just recording straight up like the inside of the piano, me pressing notes. So you can achieve the most realistic sounding instrument plugin by just having these noises in the background, these textures and the whole atmosphere. Let me go over some more sounds, and I'm releasing this plugin next month probably. So sign up to the waiting list below. And if you're lucky and watching this video after September 2025, I will edit the link, so Fraction is out. If you're watching this after September, you know, go grab it. Insane. So as you guys see, the XY pad is a sound blend. So from left to right is a sound blend between the layers, and from top to bottom, I will keep it a secret right now. I don't want to leak too much about the plugin. Also, this plugin will look differently when it's released. It's still in development, that's why. But yeah, you got your whole spectrum of experimental to simple and straight up usable in any beat. So let me just play something simple, some simple chords, so you can see. So yeah, I'm releasing this plugin next month in September, maybe the 1st of October, let's see. But I'm gonna edit the link if it's out. And the link right now is just a link to the waiting list, so make sure to join. Alright, now we got Synbiosis from HCE, that if you don't know him, is a great sound designer from really nice plugins, for example, the Infinite Tones or the pedal effect series based on real pedals, or Geoforma if you heard about it. And this is Synbiosis, and this is based on like metallic sounds. And right here you got your black cube, and he separated these cubes based on 3 colors, which this white one is the bells, this blue one is like keys, the mid frequencies, and then the bass. So that's like the bass. And this plugin actually got no presets because you actually only go ahead and randomize things. So each time I press, it generates me a different sound each time. And right here you got your effects, modulation, and envelope. And each time you press that, it randomizes that as well. You can see what's going on down here in the control settings. You go to your controls, arpeggiator, modulation, envelope, all of that right here. So let's just go over some sounds. And if you randomize effects, modulation, and envelope again, it now sounds like this. So yeah, red one for basses, this white one for like leads and pads, and the blue one is like for the higher frequencies, keys and bells. So this one is a straight up steal because it's only 30 euros, and there's also a light version only for 10 euros. And I don't even know why there's a light version, because this for 30 euros is a straight up steal. If you like these metallic sounds and glitchy sounds with a lot of textures to it. Now we got another free one, which is SyndtSphere. And this one not only looks amazing, but also sounds amazing. So you got your main XY pad right here, where you can grab it into different positions. Echo bell, and it's just so nice to use. I never saw something like this. Go to modulation, turn it down for less of this pitch thing. Delay and the volume. Let's turn on legato and play some chords. Sounds amazing. For a free plugin, this is like a no-brainer. You should pick this up instantly. Got like nice clean sim sounds, but also these experimental ones, which are really hard to find nowadays, and this one is a great pick. Alright, now we got Sky Keys, and you probably heard about it, maybe not, maybe from those ads you're seeing on Instagram. But I just want to remind you guys that this one, like every preset, every sound is so essential. Really simple and straightforward. You got your effects right here, like reverb filter, vibrato and reverse, which is really interesting. You can grab it wherever you want and set it to continuous, so it continues to play on reverse. Then you got your tone shift right here, and I saw many people being confused with the range. The range is just basically the sound design of this just recorded every single note, or like every second note of the whole keyboard across for the presets. So each note you press is a new sample, which makes it more high quality, and it sounds like a real synth. But he saw that most sounds actually sound better if it only has one sample spread across the whole keyboard. So for example, this analog brass. But also with range. Difference is on the detail side and tiny, but it's still there. So let me just play some sounds. And with these effects right here, you can really shape the sound to your likings. Reverse it. And then you got the saturation down here, which obviously makes it more saturated. The saturation actually sounds kind of clean. So yeah, high quality stuff. And when you click this, you go into these in-depth settings about humanize and pan spreads. And here, this is a great choice. I think only even for 20 euros, $20, if you use like the code SKY1, which makes it even cheaper. And for what you get, this is a steal, not gonna lie. Alright, next up we got Autochroma, and this one is a granulizer, a really creative one that I would even recommend over Portal. So let's get right into it. Alright, so it looks like this, and you got the presets right here. You got 3 granulizers, layers, and you can activate it by double clicking it. That way you can create your own presets by reversing, for example, this one. This layer can be shortened, and you can put it on octaves, pitched up, and so on. So let's go into presets while I'm explaining the plugin. Let's just use something out of my unprocessed sounds folder. This is my folder of unprocessed sounds that I just recorded. And this folder was actually from my YouTube video that I did, my phrases guide video. I'll leave it in the info box. So yeah, let's go over these presets. You can also automate certain things with this mod right here. And you can take this LFO, for example, and put it on this, drag this over here, and then, for example, give it a brighter touch. Put it on scale, or like fifths, and now it sounds like this. So you can go really crazy with this. There's so many presets you can use. So I just checked, this plugin is only $40 and I would pick it up. I would also choose this over Portal because I think the Portal sound is a bit overused right now. It's just like a new tone. You got so many presets and you can go so much crazy with this. Next up we got Motion Harmonic, and this is a really creative distortion and saturation plugin. This one was €30 and you see it on sale a lot, so I would pick it up. Basically what you got here is like this cube again, and what you see here is like the modulation of it. So it sounds different when it moves. You can mess with where it moves right here, like the direction, and like for example this one, you can drag this over here, make some different paths, or select this one, take it over here. But what this does is each point is a different tone, like a different type of distortion. You can see it right here, bit cross distortion, and it messes with these controls. So I also use this to put on some 808s for my kids, for example these. This one. And I had like this basic 808 and then put on Motion Harmonic, and it sounded so good. You also got your presets right here to choose from, and the creative ones, where I once was like, okay, this one is just different. So here's how it sounds without the plugin, and then with the plugin. Sometimes it takes away too much of the low end. That's why I took this plugin, put it on an 808 that I made, and then boosted the low end with like a compressor or like equalizer. Let's actually go to the bass presets. As you can see, as it moves, it sounds different. Insane. They also got a reverb version of this, which is called Motion Dimension, also for the same price, and both of them is a great choice. I would only pick this if you want some creative type of processing, or if you're a sound designer and make kits, or also if you're a sample maker, you know, you can put this on everything. Of course, I'm just saying that I use this for my 808s or drum making process. So the next one is not actually a plugin, but it's 23 gigabytes of free kits. Yes, that's true. I'll leave a link below to my free beta kits, which is basically, there's this huge kit of mine, like Eternal Volume 3, for example, with like 1,500 sounds, right? And the Portal Bank and the Unlock Lab Bank. But there's also like the free test version of it that you can try out, so you can see the quality of it with like 300 sounds, right? So the full version is like 1,500 sounds, and the free beta version is like 20% or like 50% of the full kit. So you can try it out for yourself and see if you like the sounds, if it fits your workflow. And all of my kits got a free beta version. So I made like a one-time sign up. When you sign up, I will send you a Dropbox link of 23 gigabytes of these free beta version kits. For example, this Paradise Unlock collection that I made with Daniel. So me and our team made this using hardware synths worth 68k actually, so hardware synths and hardware effects listed on the website. And for example, you got all these basses, and we also put on some instruments, so not only synth sounds. And the free beta version got like a few, so you can try out for yourself and see if you like it. And that's what basically the free beta versions are. It's like a handful of sounds, a free version of the full kit. And yeah, if you sign up, I'm gonna send you all of my free kits. Next up, we got Ravel from Universal Studios. This one is also a piano, but I just have to show it, man. It's great sounding. It also got multi-velocity layers, and you can mess with the dynamics, tone, the reverse. And this reverse actually makes it really interesting. And not many piano plugins have this reverse, so let me show you what it does. So you got your basic piano sound. But as soon as I turn on the reverse and the length, now it sounds like this. So it's amazing. This reverse made me put it on a list because not many people talk about it, you know. Also got some presets right here, some dark, reverse room, you know. As I said, this reverse made me put it on a list. It's from Universal Studios. I believe it was only 20 euros or 30 euros. And if you like how it sounded, you can pick it up. But if you say you got enough piano plugins or like enough this whole piano stuff, we can jump to the next plugin. Alright, so the next ones are not actually VSTs, but Kontakt Banks. And let me tell you, these Kontakt Banks are super insane. You first got Monomy and prod.gary, which are some synth-based Kontakt Banks. And I always see people talk about that Kontakt is a great choice only for instruments, but I just use it for synths, because you got Polygrade, Monomy, then Freak 2, and then these Teletone audio ones, which sound great. And Freak 2, I think you guys saw this on some ads or from Des Wright himself. It's a great must-have if you like some hardware synths in a plugin and don't want to grab some real hardware synths or don't have the budget for it. Then you got these Teletone audio ones, which are a great choice for these simple synth sounds. All of these that I picked up are based on synth sounds, so I just like to have them. But then there's the Sommerweil Sounds woven violin. This one is a really great sounding and experimental that you never have seen violin, right? So let's just jump into it. I mean, just look at the interface. It also got some phrases in them. You got drones, swells, then spizzicato, of course, and the short ones. So beautiful. And then these transients of like going up and down. This one is the velocity, so if you play low velocity, some quiet ones, and it's gonna sound like what you pick. And if you press strong, it's gonna sound like the phrase. So like, there you can see it, but if I press it softly, You got your drone. And then if you combine it, you can see all of the notes pressing right here. It's so beautiful. You got all these controls, like your effects right here, and then of course like the next page over here where you can see them in a better overview. The drones, the swirl, and the shots, the spizzicato. It's all visualized. And I really like the harmonics one for like pads, violin pads, to create a huge atmosphere. Do you hear that? Bro, so clean. Great choice. I believe it was 70 euros. And if you like these melodic, violin, experimental sounds, just go pick it up. But yeah, all these VSTs that I mentioned so far are all only based on if you like these certain sounds. Of course I say pick it up, but I also say pick it up if you like these type of sounds, or if you like violin sounds, for example, for your woven violin. Then you got Monomy right here, and I just let the sound speak for itself. It sounds great. Also a synth-based plugin, sample synth-based plugin. The interface is kept really simple and handy. You've maybe seen this on some Instagram ads as well. A great counterpart to Monomy is Polygrade. Polygrade is also awesome. Got all these controls, and what I really love about this is this noise with the white one, as you can hear, or the city one, which I really like. And it's like this textured feel of synths, you know, you got the whole texture side inside this plugin. So nice. So good. Next up we got Modo Bass, and this is a bass guitar plugin. I use it every time when I need a bass guitar, and it's like the best one in my opinion. Better than like these Kontakt Banks from bass guitars. You can choose different guitars over here, and if you want to go in depth about the sound of the bass guitar, you can go into these settings, like for example the studio. But I just like to pick a guitar and it's done. This one sounds like this. And this one completely different. Or the studio uprights. You can make some really bouncy stuff with this. And it's also multi-velocity, so sounds amazing. You got all these different guitars and bass to choose from, like this Thunder one. And I use it every time when I need one. For example, this sample right here. Beautiful, man. And the bass guitar was from Modo Bass. It's right here. So I would choose this over the Kontakt Banks, in my opinion. Also because this one was only 50 euros and you get so many different sounds. Next up we got Tone Architect, which is a great saturation plugin. But this one is a bit different. You got your tone shaper right here, which really just sets the tone of the saturation that you want. It acts like an equalizer, but also advanced controls you need in a saturation plugin. You got tube, tape and cassette. My most favorite is tube, and a compressor right here. This one is a multiband, I believe. It acts like a multiband. And you got your band compress right here, which really tightens the whole sound. Let me just preview something. For example, this phrase right here from Fantasia. It sounds like this without any effects. I mean, it's already pretty warm, but let's just put on Tonarchitekt and let's see. You also increase the inputs and decrease the output, which makes the plugin more aggressive than it already is. It now sounds like this. Just gives it a whole new character. And let's say you made like a phrase or made like a melody with some synths, or especially with some synth software, you need saturation in order to sound more realistic like a hardware synth. And you need to put on some saturation. I would definitely put on first Tonarchitekt and then Synth Warmer. This one, I showed this in my last Best VSTs, Underrated VSTs video. And after these two, your sound of the synth just sounds so much more hardware and so much more warm and analog. I would personally pick this up. Synth Warmer was only like 10 euros. And Tonarchitekt is a bit more expensive. It's $89. It also got some presets right here. And all of these presets are so good. You got your pianos, your kicks, and then of course like the synths. Like these grungy ones, you get like this warm tone. These three different saturation modes are like the most essential ones that you need in a saturation plugin. My most favorite one is Tube, as I said, and I think you have to see for yourself. Synth Warmer is a no-brainer, honestly, and Tonarchitekt is like a bit more advanced. It's got more controls, way more controls, and especially like this band compress and the tone shaper is really interesting. Next up, we got something again from Arturia, a new plugin for your drums, which is really interesting because this one got saturation in them, reverb, space, your equalizer, limiter. It's an all in all really nice plugin for your drums to give it a whole new character. For example, you got this boom bap drum loop from my Turner Volume 3 kit. So insane, bro, holy. And which also controls the whole sound are these shapers right here. So for example, I believe these are the resonances of the lows and the mids. You can also solo it out. And yeah, you got your controls right here, also like a clipper. This one got no advanced page. Most Arturia plugins got like an advanced page, then you can go more in depth. I think this could be a weakness, but also like a strength. So you can keep your focus on only these controls that do everything for you, you know what I mean? So here's how it sounds with no effects. And the riff effects. So yeah, if you love drums and like these experimental ones, especially boom bap drums, not like these classic trap drums, this one should be a no-brainer for you. You can also put this on trap drums, of course, or anything else, but I would personally use this for like these experimental ones, like the Steven Schaefer, Max Shooter type of bounce, you know what I mean? Nico Baran type of simple drums, but also like these experimental ones. So if you like to really mess up a whole drum loop or like your own drums, then really pick this up. It's even on sale right now. I don't know how much longer it's on sale, but it's right now 70 euros. Or the next one is a whole bundle of so many free plugins, and I don't really know why they did this for free, because this one is a non-brainer for any sound designer or sample maker out there. So basically get all these essential effects for free from KHs, so kilohertz, and the interface is pretty simple, straightforward, basically all you need. And your most favorite sound designers like Steven Schaefer, I don't know, Proper Infinite are using this, and so many more. Like even myself, I'm using this to sound design for some of my kids. This is like an essential secret weapon. So if you feel like you're missing some effects, you don't know if you have like a comp filter or like a bit crusher, a good one, just pick this bundle for free and you're good to go. But you may be thinking this is free and it doesn't look quite appealing. It's really industry quality and all of them sound insane. Of course, it cannot keep up with all these analog effects, bass, like the Arturia ones or UID ones, but it's still essential to have, you know? Let's just say it's insane for free stuff, you know? So compared to all of the other free stuff, I think this is a non-brainer. And that wraps the whole video up. This one was really long for me to record and to gather the whole information. So yeah, Fraction comes out next month, and as I said, you can join the waiting list. But if it's already out and if you're watching this in September or October of 2025, then I will edit the link with the access to Fraction, my first ever plugin, which is really huge to me, in collaboration with Prototype Audio. Definitely let me know in the comments which one you think that missed in this video. And yeah, see you in the next one.